Thank you for joining us wherever you are. This podcast episode is brought to you by the Old Ways Actual Play team. This actual play uses the Mage the Ascension 20th anniversary rules by Onyx Path Publishing. This actual play is performed by adults and contains adult themes. Our World of Darkness is intended for adults. Listeners should pay close attention to all listed content warnings. All content, including names, places, events, companies, and etc., which may bear resemblance to entities living or dead, is strictly coincidental. My name is Michael Diamond, and for tonight's game, I will be your storyteller. Thank you for joining us again on another episode of the Old Ways podcast. I am your storyteller, Michael Diamond. My pronouns are he, him. And we are back with another wondrous episode in the Ascension of Babylon series, our Mage the Ascension Chronicle. We want to welcome you in, and we would like you, if you are a listener, to potentially check out what we had to offer on patreon.com/theoldwayspodcast. Jump over to YouTube, subscribe there, and hopefully you get to see some fun bits soon there as well. As this is a World of Darkness game, at the beginning, am going to remind you that it is a mature game with mature scenes and themes, and it may likely be not safe for work based on the language. So please take care, wear headphones, and buckle up. We're going to begin with introductions. To my right.
Hi, this is Allie, and I play Kayleigh and Godfrey. I have someone lurking in my general vicinity. I don't know if they're helpful or not.
I think helpful sort of is really a matter of perspective. Speaking of that perspective, to your right.
Hi, my name is Tegan, and I'm playing Mr. B, and I'm lurking helpfully in your general vicinity.
Absolutely. To Mr. B's right.
This is Lecco playing Dante, Max, and Vargas Bailey, he, they, whose mama had a lot of kids.
You know, I was noticing that. She really did. And last but most certainly not least.
This is Jake. I'm playing Oliver Devereaux, and I got to meet the Loco Order of Hermes. Some of them.
Yeah, I mean, just a couple of them. Who knows how many there are, right? And what is the Order of Hermes anyway?
Well,
hopefully Oliver will get a chance to find out very soon. We're going to raise the curtain tonight on a library where we find Oliver Devereaux and a new friend, ? in John Crescent, as they sit together in a library. A vast library, much larger on the inside than it is the out. Oliver, John pushes a cup of what smells like coffee over to you. Drink up, you're gonna need it.
thank you.
The coffee tastes really good.
I hope they know what they're doing. You know, coffee. Nice place like that, you'd think they'd be able to make a good cup of coffee, right? Right.
It's a library, it should have good coffee.
Right.
John sort of sits back a little bit in the high wing chair and rests his coffee cup on the very tiniest of sort of bellies that he has. He can't be more than 150 pounds. He looks like he's got a house coat on. He brushes at his mustache and takes a sip of his coffee. So, yeah, quite the explosion.
So they say. So,
well, it happens to most of us, actually.
Really?
That's why I'm here. That's why I came and got you.
Set up a flare or something, basically.
You have a knack, Oliver. All of us have knacks, but you have a knack like I do in a way, and that knack is the ability to see and interact with the essential forces of the universe. It could be anything from the electricity in the walls to the heat coming off that candle over there to something a little larger, like a neutron bomb.
A neutron bomb?
The point I'm trying to make is, at this world, in this space in Las Vegas, we have to look out for one another. And I know a couple people who would probably be interested in potentially mentoring you and explaining all of this. I mean, I can explain some of it, right? I can help you make sense of some things. I'm certain, at least I hope, you've had a chance to talk with or interact with the avatar spirit inside of you.
Oh, the guy in the suit?
He sort of looks left and right. Sure. I mean, everybody's just different. It's your puzzle piece, sort of. It's a channel to not only just forces workings, but all sorts of different potentials that you have inside of you. Think of it like a keyhole that you can put your key into and unlock the things that you need at that time. Your relationship with your avatar could vary from day to day, week to week. There are awakened mages that barely ever speak to their avatars at all. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just sometimes the avatar is a little quiet. Other times, some avatars just can't shut up.
So, if I wanted to speak to my avatar, how do I go about doing that? Would I just meditate or something?
You could. Some people speak to their avatars in their sleep, like in a dream state. Subconscious lets go. And a lot of times that's when avatars sink their teeth, so to speak, into those conversations. You can't really go anywhere. It's an opportunity. That's really what you're looking for.
Fair.
But the Order is one of many mystical traditions that exist on Earth. There's a lot of them. More than a handful, that's for sure. For a long time, the Order of Hermes has maintained a strong purpose.
Okay. So, do I interview with all of these and then make a choice? Is it like a hiring process, or?
It's a little bit of column A and a little bit of column B. So, Hermetics, as sometimes we're referred to, members of the Order, are particular. It's kind of like being sifted. There are a lot of different houses. Some are more easy to connect with than others. For me, as a member of House Bonastages, this is sort of what I do. I take care of a library. I take care of knowledge. I make sure that it gets recorded. I make sure that it stays available. And I protect it. You couldn't get in here if I didn't want you to come in here. And that's because I've done the tenuous process of complicating my life by creating a whole bunch of mystical barriers for people. Because knowledge is power, and there are people here, Oliver, that want to take it.
So this library was kind of like Doctor Strange Sanctum, right?
Well, I mean,
it's got all those protections on it to keep it from, evil befalling it or what have you.
If you need the analogy, Oliver, it's fine with me. But I'm not Stephen Strange, and nobody here is. We're real people fighting for what comes next. But yes, the space is warded carefully.
All right.
You should feel safe here.
Well, as long as the cops can't get in.
Oh, no. We are very careful with Las Vegas police, but not because of the mundane aspect alone, but because of the other aspect. There are other will workers who are on a different sort of side of the fence. They care about reality in a different way. They have a different viewpoint. They believe in a strict type of order. And
they work with the government to keep us all down. Just like the man.
No, Oliver. I don't think you're getting this the right way. They do work inside some of the governmental agencies, but they sort of sit above it.
Like a shadow government.
I mean, you can conspirize it however you'd like, but certainly there are aspects that could be equated to such, yes. They have the ability to shape reality just like you do, but they've been at it for hundreds of years. And they have created what we would call consensual reality, accepted reality.
Okay, all right. This is a little bit like quantum theory.
A little bit, like there are a set of rules.
Right.
And
observing reality changes it. Just like observing the cat in the box changes it.
Certainly. But imagine if you could not only observe the cat, but you could see its heartbeat or hear it breathing without being near it. Imagine if you could protect the box that the cat was in and no one else could see or touch or interact with it because you'd protected it.
Okay. And so you can use the ability to see and interact with it to push it to a certain outcome that you want it to do.
That's correct.
But there's other people pushing it the other way.
Potentially, or a totally different way.
Okay, I get it. This is making sense now.
But there is a superseding party in all of this, and that is reality itself. And sometimes reality itself, it decides what you want is not okay because of a varying number of factors, but the biggest one being the fact that it doesn't believe that what you are doing should be possible.
Okay. Right. So kind of like a rubber band. You stretch it out and then you pull it one direction, but that's not the direction it's supposed to go. So you let it go and it snaps back and it hurts.
Oh yes. It can certainly hurt. I like to think of it like a carpet. Like this carpet. He gestures to the floor. Many-colored, beautiful carpet that sits as a runner around the library.
Wait. Is this like a standard symbolism here? Because I think Salvatore did the same thing.
Yes, he probably picked it up from us.
Oh, okay. But I understand the carpet analogy.
Okay, good. It's an important analogy. You can change the carpet as much as you want, as long as nobody notices.
Right.
And as long as you adhere to specific rules while you're changing the carpet.
Okay.
It's an important distinction.
That makes a lot of sense.
So, what I would like to do is schedule a meeting with a couple of local members of the order and see if any one of them might be willing to mentor you. To help you figure out what works and what doesn't, and then how you apply those theories into practice.
Okay, I mean, I have nowhere else to go.
Right, about that. The order can't yet house you. Your apartment is probably not the safest place for you either. I've done what I can by distracting a few things. I have a former associate who is helping me with the police department issue. But ultimately, in the end, someone is going to notice me rearranging the Tetris blocks. And when they do, they're going to begin to wonder why.
Mm-hmm.
That's not reality wondering why. That is we'll just say the other side of the fence.
The other side of the fence, so they're going to start wondering why you're helping somebody else. Got it. That will put me on their radar.
Right. But it was either that or you ended up in jail.
Well, this is obviously better than jail.
I should hope so. So, what I'm willing to do is, if necessary, is lend you some money, so that way you could get a temporary residence in a reasonable area of town, and then you can begin your journey.
Okay, I guess. Yeah. I have no other options at this point, so.
Well, you could, of course, walk out. That is completely, at this point, up to you. But if you're willing to investigate and accept the offer in front of you, there's just a small thing we need to go over first.
Okay.
Contractual details.
No, just, yeah. Ipso facto, quid pro quo.
Something like that. I'm going to leave you there. So, you've had a chance this morning, Kayleigh, to talk back and forth with your friend. I think friend in quotations, Mr. B. And I'm kind of wondering, do you feel like you've got anything solved?
No. Not a tiny bit. Is Mr. B still in my apartment, or?
I mean, you didn't tell him to leave, did you?
No. And he didn't just up and vanish, so.
Not that you know of.
Right. So asking you questions doesn't seem to be helping me tons, but I feel like the last couple questions I have are pretty straightforward.
Yeah, I'll do my best.
Can you teach me to do this more efficiently? Whatever this is.
Absolutely.
Is there anyone else that you're teaching this to?
Not that I know of.
Okay. Those are all the questions I currently have before. How often am I going to... where do I meet you for training?
I'm always with you.
Oh, so you're not separated from me?
Not really.
Okay.
Yeah. Unless you needed me to be.
I mean, I don't know. I feel like that's a fair answer. I don't know if I need you to be away.
It's fine. You just seem like somebody who has suddenly found themselves with an abundance of tools. And you don't quite know how to use them.
That is correct. Yeah.
Absolutely. It's completely understandable.
What is this tool set?
Look, you're, like I said before, you're important. You're special.
Okay. I guess I'll find out in time what that means.
No, we all do. In the meantime, I'm just here to help. Like the fact that I just reset all of your expiration dates in your refrigerator. That should save you at least $300 on groceries this week.
So, Dante, the run back to the place is a little invigorating. You can't remember the last time you've been potentially caught on camera doing something that you weren't supposed to be doing, but there is a little exhilaration for sure.
Yeah, I don't break stride often, so. But this Jamie character has me a little concerned. However, I don't even know that my sister knows that she's pregnant yet. There's a pretty good chance that she doesn't know. She'll figure it out soon enough. I don't need to be the one to break that news. So I think for me, my focus, Dante, for all that he does, follows his routine, because at this point, everything is kind of in service of the end of the month is coming, which means the first of the month is approaching. And
yep.
It is always a race to the bottom. So, and there is no other hand to feed right now. So the sound of this party sounds good. When did the floor manager say that this private party was supposed to take place?
He said 3 or 4 or 5 days, do you think?
Gotcha. Well, he said he'd relay me the details, and I am a trusting sort, so I will trust him to do so. Not that I would remember in 3 days anyway.
Right.
So I think I go about my day. I'm always looking forward to fencing practice, my brother.
Yep. So yeah, your day progresses fairly regularly, regimentally. You go to practice. You get the opportunity to just check in, right, with several of your different. You have a lot of different spots that you get to investigate and see what people are up to. But fencing class is definitely a highlight.
I don't get to spend a lot of time with my older brothers.
So I guess is this Jason?
No,
Or is it Frank?
it's Fabio, his oldest brother.
Okay, oldest brother. Okay.
Yes, the one to whom his this is actually the first time that they would be interacting since his dream, his visit to the hospital on his birthday with the lightning storm.
Mm-hmm.
So this is kind of their first. They don't live together. You know, Fabio's the one that calls his apartment the kids' table. So, but he's got his own thing going on.
Okay. 86. So he's quite a bit older than you are.
Mm-hmm. 14 years. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
That would make him 37.
Mm-hmm. He's pretty efficient when it comes to fencing, but you get eventually into a sort of back and forth banter with him. He seems concerned about something. You're not sure exactly what, but like halfway during the practice routines and then like more freeform, you can tell he's a little distracted.
Well, I'll germ a bit. So, where's your head? And then I step on his toe.
Ow, damn it. He waves the fencing sword, just sort of clear the space between the two of you. I'm, I don't know. I'm having a hard time. I'm not even here.
Yeah, I stop. Like full stop, lift my mask up.
He lifts his up.
We can take a break. We got time.
Yeah, they, I wasn't feeling well the other week, and so I went to the doctor. And they want me to come back and take some more tests. And I'm worried, man. Like, I'm just...
You being vague on purpose?
No, I don't know. I don't know what they want.
When do you go back?
End of the week. I mean, we've got stuff in the family that runs sometimes, and I started asking Mom a bunch of questions. You know, like, do I have anything to worry about? Is there stuff in the family extended that I don't know about? She didn't have any answers for me. She said I'd be fine.
Well, the doctors will be able to tell you more, right? When are you going?
I go Thursday.
Is your wife going with you?
You see him sort of choke back a little bit.
You haven't told her yet. I slap him. Not like hard.
What am I supposed to do?
I'm just going to sit on this and stew for the next 4 days. Man, come on. You're supposed to be good at this shit.
What if it's cancer?
Just, why would you say its name? I look around. Sorry. I will hug my eldest brother.
He hugs you back.
You got to tell her. Go home. Now.
All right.
And Thursday, if you want me to go with you, just let me know when.
Okay. He nods. I'm sorry about this.
You don't apologize for.
I'll make it up. I'll make it up to you.
I was gonna win anyway. You're fine.
He sort of shoots you that disapproving older brother look.
Because I know I'm lying, so it's it's whatever. But I'll take the win. This is a concession.
You guys have this practice at like a formal gym, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a fencing gym. Okay. I think when he leaves, I will. I don't want to spar with anybody. I will probably just go through my routines and. Fuck. I gotta leave it up to him. Yeah, I can't push that button. That's a real hot one. But I will. I guess paranoia might sink in. I don't remember, but I never looked either.
Right.
I'm gonna break early and go take a shower. And I think when I take my shower, I'm going to focus on how I'm feeling. Like what's my inner harmony. I'm going to kind of, get the shower real hot and kind of put myself through a little bit of a, I guess you could say an ordeal.
Okay.
Test my breathing, test my ability to just kind of deal with this. And I'll want to use that to really try to zero in on my bits and look for something that's not supposed to be there, that wants to kill me or something,
Okay, so you're going to attempt to like life one scan yourself?
Well, I mean, for cancer, sure.
Sure. It's coincidental, so it's highest fear +3 is your difficulty, so it's 4.
1.
I mean, you don't see anything.
But that's good. I feel better now. I feel like I'm only as sure as I can be without going to a doctor for no reason.
Right.
If I feel no reason, then I relax a little bit.
Okay.
But I think when it comes to, I was tempted to look at my brother, but the thing is, after seeing my after kind of looking inside a sibling already, and seeing like too much, like it's too much insight into someone who you should just talk to.
Right.
But if that doctor says inconclusive, we're going to have a different conversation, is what I think to myself, basically. Like, be certain.
You gather your stuff up and step outside from the gym. It's still reasonably warm out. It's a little bit before 2 o'clock or so. And you cut through the parking lot to get back onto the way home. And you see a very, very well-appointed Cadillac Escalade sort of sitting just so right in the parking lot as you get towards the end of the row.
Mm-hmm.
One of the back doors opens and a woman in a sort of white ensemble, teal shirt underneath. Doesn't necessarily look like she's here for the gym, but she looks fit.
Okay.
And well taken care of. She clearly takes care of herself. She's tan, but not too tan. Nice blonde, sort of off blonde hair, not completely bleached by any means, or California blonde, as some people might call it. She has a pair of sunglasses on, and she takes them off. You're probably about 10 or so feet, 10, maybe 15 feet apart at this point as you walk past her. Dante, right?
I stop. Who's asking?
She steps over.
I take my earphones out.
Steps over a couple of onto the actual sidewalk. Susan Perkins. I'm with corporate staffing.
Hello, Susan. Susan Perkins, corporate staffing?
Yeah. Corporate Staffing and Associates.
I think to myself, did I apply for a job?
You don't remember applying for a job?
All right. What's this about?
I have an opportunity for you, if you're interested.
Somebody put you up to this? Maybe put my name in a hat or something? I mean, what's the work? I mean, I'm kind of in the middle of something right now. I mean, I'm heading somewhere, but
Oh, of course. I don't want to keep you.
No, sure. It's just a little. Were you waiting for me here?
She smiles. She takes out a small case from her jacket pocket. It's gold. It looks at first like a cigarette case almost, but she opens it up and there's a business card in it. She pulls it out and offers the card to you.
This happens again. I'll take it. we got another one.
It's white, and there are a series of like there's like a hexagon pattern across the top of it. It shimmers a little bit in the Las Vegas light. She closes the case. I spoke with your stage manager last night.
Oh, okay.
I got word that someone was very interested in your show. And frankly, I want to make sure you don't make the wrong move.
So you know Jay.
Jason, she smirks.
Dot.
Yes, he's very crafty. He likes to keep himself mysterious, but yes, I am familiar with him. And for my part in this, I'm completely honest with you, we are staging for the next show. And we're a little competitive. And we have also, through research, indicated that you would be perfect for a role that we have for you in the show.
This was that party they were talking about?
Well, Las Vegas, as you're aware of, is a little bit of an arms race when it comes to the most popular shows, the best entertainers. That's nothing new.
Preaching to the choir.
Part of what I do is talent acquisition.
Okay, well, look, I'm always looking. I'm always on the market for better work, especially if it's a featuring role in something big. Honestly, I could give a shit about the exposure, but it sounds like what's compensation like?
Well, it's the initial show is relatively short run, 6 to 8 weeks, but it's big bang, big buck. And so you could clear 50 grand if you play your cards right. She sort of gestures to her business card.
I mean, that's really tempting. I don't know that I've ever signed anything that big personally. Actually, I do know that I've never signed anything that big personally.
Think it over. If you want more details when you're not between work, I'm happy to move and adjust my schedule to make sure we could perhaps have some tea or coffee, or I could potentially join you on a run or something.
Actually, I'm. I mean, not sure what your plans are, but I make dinner at 6.
At your place.
Well, I have to make it for my family. I don't have to eat it there. I could go somewhere else, but it's probably when I basically dinner, and then I have my show tonight at 7. So you got me now. What kind of shoes is she wearing right now? I imagine she's not wearing running shoes.
She's not wearing running shoes, at least it does not appear so.
I mean, I'm out now. Otherwise, we would have to wait until after the show tonight. I mean, you could. Hey, have you ever been to the Cirque?
I have, but I'd happily go back. It's a good show.
Give him my name at the door. We'll make sure you get a good seat. Come to the show, and then we can talk after. We can take as much time as you want to take to help me understand why the hell you want to give me so much money.
I simply want to work on helping any of the talent that I locate improve their lives. That's the way this works. Then you do your best.
Tonight. Susan, right? Suzanne?
Susan.
Great to meet you.
Great to meet you, Dante. She steps back towards the Escalade and gets into the back seat.
I will put my headphones back in and wave at the driver, who I'm sure is probably behind a blacked out window.
100%.
And put some bounce in my step. And I'll be thinking about this all fucking day.
I will leave you there on your way back to your house dinner. So, Kayleigh, you were staring at it earlier today, but that skip board is staring you back in the face now. You sort of spent the weekend between losing a skip effectively and having a breakdown after church at, your significant other's parents' place, and then that situation with Gran. And what you need is you need to find your center. And the way you do that is by getting back to work.
So how many people am I allowed to keep up on this board at a time? Storyteller.
I would say, realistically, on this board, you could probably fit 5 to maybe 6 quarries.
Okay.
Just by the size of it.
All right. So you're here to help me, right?
That's pretty much all I'm here to do.
Well, you turned in the last bounty that I was after. I didn't really have a hand in that.
Well, he was going to kill you.
And very nearly did. So, in your great, helpful opinion, I should probably take it easy, right?
That's completely your prerogative. The last thing I'd want to do would be to limit your freedom.
Very helpful.
Maybe you could just work on getting better at your job.
I wasn't half bad or everything showed up. Meaning you.
True. Look, you're not bad, but obviously you were headed in a less than helpful direction, and then suddenly you weren't.
No, the helpful direction is you, as my understanding is supposed to understand. All right, so I've got a couple that are just basic. There are just some basic skips. Is there something I can do to find them faster than having to go through entire families of relatives to see which one they're staying at that particular week so they can avoid whatever it is they're avoiding at that time?
So that's sort of like the real rub, right?
Yeah.
That's what you do. What you do is you use techniques to get these skips to come out. So that way they can be available for you to pick up. The calling the relatives thing is just one methodology.
Yeah.
There are tons of different methodologies. Like, it's not unheard of for you to go and create a fake social media profile to use as a method of enticing especially male skips to interact with, and then propose a meetup, and then jump their shit right there and then. And it works. It's easy. It doesn't mean it's not dangerous, because obviously some skips are skipping for a reason.
Yeah.
And that could be because they're, potentially violent. But it's a way to get them. That is, of course, if you don't want to, knock on Aunt May's door and ask her where Billy is.
Well, I gotta keep things interesting. Plus, I was told I have a whole new tool set. So if there is a tool in this new set that I can utilize, I would rather do that. Learn a new way to do something.
I like that idea. So how will you go about it?
I don't know. There are lots of ways to go about it.
Yeah. I see your avatar's already speaking through you.
Yeah. So currently on my board, I have we'll say 4. I can fit 6, but I have 4 up there.
Right.
The easiest target being who?
The easiest target being a gentleman named Daniel Leland.
Hey, that's a great name. And what is Daniel done?
Well, clearly, he's skipped bail. And he has done so on a rather large financial debt.
Okay. And what?
He
Sorry, go ahead.
He owes one of the local, not casinos, but one of the local payday loan establishments, if it can be called that.
Yeah.
The sum of $18,538.
And what's his cost? What will I make when I get him?
Generally speaking, you'll probably get, for this sort of a pickup, you'd probably get anywhere between $2,000 to $3,000.
Okay. All right. Well, then that's who I'm going to go after. How long has it been since he skipped?
It's been 2 weeks.
Oh, geez. Okay.
It is believed he is still in the Las Vegas area.
Okay. So, Mr. B, if I want to find Mr. Leland, are there ways that you can help me do that from here? Like directly from this spot?
Well, certainly. We squishy people absolutely require so much hand-holding. Okay, let's start with this. So you have methodologies that you go about, you have plans, you have systems that you have come to learn in the course of exploring your career, correct? You have learned them from previous people in your field, or maybe you picked up Chasing Down Bonds for Dummies. But what I'm trying to tell you is that you have access as an individual, as yourself, to a couple more senses than maybe you were expecting to have before. Get to know the person that you are tracking down. Understand who they are. Try to put yourself in their shoes. And that might lead you to where they are now.
So something I kind of already do to begin with. Is there just... You say that I have enhancements. Is there just something that I'll be focusing on other than the normal methodology that will make this easier?
It's a matter of will.
Okay, that's... I don't know why I expected more from you. That's about as helpful as anything else you've given me, so par for the course at this point.
I'm not sure. I'm trying very carefully to not give you advice that's going to build bad habits.
So whatever you are to me is supposed to be what? A neutral entity that there is no good and no evil? There only is.
I don't know where that comes from.
Religion, that's where it comes from.
Oh, well, sure, I guess. Look, I'm here to keep you safe. I'm also here to let you know that some of the rules don't apply to you anymore.
Are you going to tell me when I approach that threshold, or will I just know?
I'm going to let you test those boundaries.
Very helpful, thank you.
Look, you call it being helpful. I'd call it dominating and controlling you. I'm trying not to do that.
No, and that's fine. So if you're here all the time, does that mean I have to talk to you all the time? Are you watching everything I'm doing? Or can I kind of go about my life pretending you don't exist until you do?
Go ahead. Pretend I don't exist. Like this.
I guess the question is, Mr. B, do you poof out of existence?
Pretty much.
Cool. So now you got to deal with that, Kayleigh,
Yay.
because the person you're talking to in the room.
Okay, so I will go about normal methodologies. I will look at all the notes that I currently have on him. I will look at his social media pages. I will look at like the places he frequents, like that he frequented before, what casinos he favored,
Sure.
that sort of thing.
Okay, so give me a wits computers roll.
I have a whole success.
Fantastic. You locate his social media. Oh, okay. Yep. He was at this casino here. He was at this one here. He spends a lot of time on Fremont Street, or did.
Okay.
So for those of you who are not familiar with Las Vegas, a strip is sort of the centralized area that you see in a whole lot of the pictures and all the media. Fremont Street is in downtown Las Vegas, and it is sort of the older, where some of the older casinos used to be, and Fremont has been revamped a few times. It is not as, I don't know, I don't want to put any general statements on it. There's just a different vibe there. So you go through his social media, you find a pattern, at least, of some of the places that he tends to operate around.
Yeah.
He has not posted in about a week or two. But there is enough here that you think that you could probably spend time and develop a pattern.
And just pinpoint everything on a map as far as like these are the places he's been at the most in however long of a time frame, especially if there are places that like this casino for, you know, it was this many days out of a certain week sort of pattern.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll go to the place that he has visited the most, including the most recently. Because I imagine that wherever his favorite place was is also the place that he was, you know, caught.
Yeah. So you head to a place on Fremont Street, and given the time of day, you still encounter the thing that sort of keeps Fremont going, and that is people. There are an awful lot of people down here. They come in and out of bars, they come in and out of restaurants, casinos, etc. Fremont Street is its own thing. Part of it is now covered electronically by a sort of shell that covers the street, and it encloses it. There's like really wild and interactive screens. There's holographic imagery there. There are Vegas showgirls plying their trade in full outfits and, getting all sorts of people to interact with them and to do crazy things. And this is the part of Las Vegas that people who live in Las Vegas tend to avoid.
Okay.
Fremont Street is an enormous tourist trap.
Yeah.
The difference is that it is also a place where you could hide. You see, off-duty and on-duty police officers around. Fremont is a place that is known to attract the occasional violent crime. And it would not be unheard of for people to be thrown out of, establishments and have altercations. So you're probably on guard when you're down here.
Which isn't surprising. All of the bigger tourist traps require being on guard a little bit more for anybody, not just people like me. In a bigger crowd, it's going to be harder to spot, but I've gotten to know his face at this point with all of the social media posts and the mugshots and all of that too. It's like I know what I'm looking for.
Okay, so take me through your process for looking.
Well, over time, a person who does this establishes a sense for, okay, they're going to be like, especially someone who's like, I'm not short and I'm not short in character, so I have a better idea of like someone who's 6 foot tall, what that actually looks like.
Mhm.
So if Mr. Leland is 6'1" with a narrower, skinnier frame, that's going to be easier to manage, to find, through a crowd of like, showgirls, because it's going to be a very different sort of person in that. So whatever Mr. Leland's physical description is something that over time I'll have been able to at least find people that look similar to him. So it's like people who are of a similar build, similar coloring, types of clothes that they typically wear. It's how you find a lot of people in person, is just by recognizing patterns of people.
Okay. So go ahead and give me a perception investigation then.
Okay.
Difficulty 7.
That's a 6 dice pool with 2. Yeah.
Okay.
With 2.
You're down here for a few hours. You are looking in all of the right spaces, in all of the right places. And it gets on towards dinner time, and you come up empty-handed. For whatever reason, you feel like Daniel should be here. Like in this 3-block radius, 4-block radius, you've probably walked in different patterns, in different ways multiple times. But you just... It's like he's invisible. He should be here. You see people who look just like him. Not.
And after several hours at any one location, a person gets frustrated, especially in an area like this where it's already easy enough to hide. And I feel like this is a point where I would, in pure frustration, concentrate and just wish that I could find this guy.
Ah, yes, if wishes were horses.
Yeah.
Okay.
But in that wishing comes to, there has to be a better way to find this guy. This normal pattern isn't working. So I'll do something else. And I will look. I want to use life to look in a different way, to see if there's something embedded, like in a deeper pattern, that he is going against the grain for.
Okay, so sure, you want to access that sort of life sense.
Yeah.
How will you do it? What is going to be Kayleigh's method of focusing? Wishing,
hoping, praying, hopes and prayers. Everything runs on hopes and prayers.
Hopes and prayers. So prayer is a potential method for you to use.
Yes.
Okay. Who are you going to pray to? And yes, there is a follow-up.
Oh, good. Because my answer is... I don't like this answer, but it's also the answer that in character is the thing that makes sense. I currently have someone that has essentially, for all intents and purposes, brought me back to life.
Right.
I might have a personal deity, so I would be praying to my avatar.
Okay. Mr. B, this is sort of humorous, at least. But in an endearing way. You hear Kayleigh's thoughts before she really gets form around them. And you sort of see her pattern start to ignite a little bit. Like she's finally going to do something that's interesting. And when she does, you feel like someone pulling on your shirt. And you instantly know that what Kayleigh's trying to do is use you as a focusing device. But not in the right way. Because you're not God or a deity. You're just Mr. B.
Okay. I get it. You're gonna need just the smallest bit of hand-holding. That's perfectly normal, I guess, in this situation. Okay. Take a look at the crowd in front of you.
Now I'm going to follow all these directions. All of them.
I can't wait.
All right. If you think about it, you can tell where each of them is going to be going with the rest of their night. You can tell based off of their clothes. You can tell based off of their posture. You can tell based off of the cadence of their steps. But isn't there one in here that doesn't match the rest of them?
That's the one I'm looking for, is the one that doesn't mesh with normal behavior.
It's almost like you can see their guilt above their head.
So there's a physical tell? Like something that I could see that maybe others don't?
Do you want to see it?
Yeah.
Then that's the important part.
Okay.
And then I imagine that is...
Yeah.
That desire is what was needed.
Certainly.
Oh, yeah.
So roll Arate, Kayleigh.
Okay. 2.
Okay. It's really nice when things line up, just like they do here, right off of Fremont Street. Right here, a place you've walked by now 10 times. Small collection of people sitting at an outdoor cafe. And the person you're looking for is sitting right there. They've completely changed their clothing profile. But it didn't matter. Because when you concentrated hard enough, they left a trail that they couldn't so easily hide. And you see Daniel Leland not but 20 feet from you.
The epitome of hidden in plain sight. Well, I will go. Like, I have a couple of, like, there are a couple of police officers that I have an eye on that are close enough that if he tries to run, they can probably help me if I need it. But I will walk up to him. Mr. Leland.
He tries really hard not to look at you.
It's time for you to come with me.
You feel him tense up from across the space there, this short distance now. You see his heartbeat elevate. He begins to perspirate. His muscles begin to flex and twitch, especially in his legs. And then he sort of folds like a house of cards. Soon after that, you handcuff him and take him into protective custody and prepare transport. Oliver, John gets you set up with a place to live, temporarily. It's not by any means luxurious. It looks like a small, maybe single bedroom place that's in a 4-flat. It's not terribly far from the library, 6 or 8 blocks. He drives you there in the station wagon. And he tells you that the fridge will have everything that you need for the next couple of weeks, cupboards and stuff like that. There are 3 very important rules that you have to follow. You don't bring anybody back to the house. Anybody. Especially other people who are awakened.
Okay.
2, it's critical that whatever experiments you might do on your own, that you understand that the house, this space, is tailored to sort of look at reality in a specific way. Doing things outside of that are dangerous here.
Okay.
He says what will happen is reality will reinforce itself vigorously. You don't want to be on the receiving end of that.
All right. Okay, I understand.
And 3, anything that is within the house needs to stay within the house. So you might find reading material inside of it. You might be visited by
3 ghosts?
No. Missive carriers, owls, birds, etc. They may bring messages, notes, that sort of thing. Should they do so, it's very important that you read and follow whatever directions you're given.
Okay. A little very clandestine, but...
You feel his sigh, like he's tired. We don't usually get a ton of opportunities to develop new talents like yourself. It's a long process. It's something that can be very difficult occasionally. And the investment in the past sometimes has not always paid off. That's not your fault or your problem, but...
So you want to keep me at arm's length until you know if I'm going to be fitting in?
I want to keep my investment in you secure.
Okay.
I don't want to keep you at arm's length. You're free to come by the library during the week. We can talk as needed. The interviews likely will take place at the library. I need to make sure, Oliver, you're not going to do anything risky.
Risky? Like with my woo-woo? Or risky as in going out and shooting up
what is woo-woo?
Oh, the finger-waving magic thing.
It's not finger-waving, Oliver. It is distinct imagery and symbols created by your hands. You're going to need to make sure that you eschew any of that sort of Hollywood thinking.
Okay, I can do that.
It's a very exclusive group that you could be part of, you understand?
Well, yeah.
Finger-waving and all.
Yeah.
There are groups that would be very interested in getting a hold of you and shoving you in a van and trying to reprogram your mind for their own best interests. You need the opportunity to learn the proper way to do things. It isn't simply just formulae and rote. There are important reasons why we do the things that we do.
So do you happen to have any books at the library about the proper way to do things?
Many. You'll get the opportunity to read some of them when you stop in the library under reasonable supervision.
Right.
So please, enjoy, relax, perhaps sample some of the reading material that's there at the house, and then tomorrow we'll start anew. And we'll meet first thing, 7 a.m., and we'll begin your education.
All right. That sounds fantastic, because I am on the edge of my seat here.
He unlocks the door to the house.
All right. Go on in.
You go on in. Dante, you are back at Cirque.
All right, it's time to put the show on. We put the show on. I have a guest, so I make a show of it.
You make a show of it. You, probably about 20 minutes into the set, you finally ID Susan. She's changed her outfit. She's in something in a deep blue. It actually pairs really well with the balcony seat she has. She's been here before, so she probably knows what the place looks like. So she's just, doing her thing. But if she didn't know, wow. Like, that's definitely creative. And she watches. And she also takes notes.
I mean, because as for me, like, if she's recruiting me at this point, I feel like this is very much an audition.
Oh, yeah.
So I pull every audible that I'm allowed to when it comes to my time in basically under the lights.
All right, give it to me. I want the dice roll to show how much you're gonna go off here.
So at this point, it would have to be acrobatics because we're doing aerials.
Yep.
So we're gonna fly. Still nimble. Actually, you know what I would like to do? I would like to spend a point of willpower as well.
Yeah, do it.
This is important to me.
It sure is.
This is important to my family. So yeah, we're gonna get this. We're gonna nail this. I hope. So willpower counts as 1, right?
It sure does.
So I have 4 plus 1, so 5 with 2 10s. So just a second. Oh, would either Daredevil or my cat-like balance apply here?
Cat-like balance, yes. Not really doing anything Daredevil-y specific.
No, I'm not going off script. So I got 4.
Okay. It is a fantastic performance. You do go a little above and beyond, but not out of rhythm of the show, which is pretty key. You end the night full of feeling like you've accomplished something amazing. Like you really feel like you did a good job. And you get a sufficient amount of applause from Susan specifically. She's there with what looks like a couple of other gentlemen. Well, you can't really make them out. They're just guys in suits. The show wraps up to, again, a thunderous applause. And you are at the end of it in the dressing room trying to recuperate and rehydrate and get prepared to move on with the night.
Yeah, the plan was to get cleaned up, and then I hastily clean up. I grab Sophie and spin around a whole lot, and then we run out to try to catch Susan leaving. I imagine the Escalade will be pretty easy to spot.
Oh, yeah. The Escalade is very easy to spot coming out of one of the MGM Grand side doors. It is parked in the parking lot in what looks like you're not sure. That might be a fire lane. You're not sure. That Escalade is parked a little close.
Okay. Well, yeah, at this point, I'm like water bottle and, warm-ups.
Mm-hmm.
We're just staying cool and comfy.
You see the back door of the Escalade open, and Susan steps out. She has changed from the blue, almost semi-formal dress that she had on into something that looks a little bit more conventional for the evening. It's a pair of dark slacks. She has a black jacket with like half sleeves, and there is a gold or yellow top underneath of it.
I'll trot up.
Gestures to you, applauding, obviously.
Thank you. It was actually a really good time. I haven't felt that good in a while. You could say I was motivated, huh?
I could. I saw your motivation, and I saw that you were working for something better. So, I don't know what your plans are for the evening, but I'd like to take a drive if you don't mind.
Sure. Yeah, that sounds great. I take a sip of my water bottle, and you're not allergic to minks, are you?
I don't think so. She gets in the other side of the Escalade and sort of gestures towards the open door.
Yeah, slide in.
You slide in the back of this Escalade and the door's shut, and you realize that the cabin configuration in this is a little different. So this is a little bit limo-like.
Ooh.
And that you have 2 chairs facing you, and that you're sitting in the back, and there's like super plush leather seating and like middle console with like controls, and there's a starlight mat to the ceiling here.
I feel fancy.
Definitely. The Escalade pulls away slowly from MGN Grand and eventually joins the traffic on the strip.
Dante is also extremely nervous, and he's trying to hide it. So I think what he's going to do is take Sophia out of her bag and just let her scarf him. You know, just kind of curl around and hug his neck area while he just waits to. He has no idea what the fuck he's doing.
Sure.
Every fiber in his being wants to like call Roberto and just ask him what the hell he's supposed to do, but he kind of wants to trust this woman. So, and his ability, like if this is what the work was for, then well, dive in. Why not?
So, the vision we have for this event is pretty spectacular. I'm sure you've heard, at least through the news, obviously the Sphere is opening at the end of the week.
That's all anybody's talking about.
It's a momentous event in Las Vegas history.
I don't even get it. I just know it's huge.
It's a venue. It's one of the most ultimate music venues ever. But not just music, dance, other forms of physical art, and then the display boards that'll be on the outside, the wraparound coverage of everything.
Wait, that's where the show is?
It's not there. It's in the after party for it.
Oh, good. You scared the shit out of me.
And Sphere already has its own gigs lined up, really for probably the next calendar year. U2 is going to come in and play as well. But the people who are going to go to those shows are expecting something very, very chic, very high level and artistic. And I believe you might be just the person we're looking for to help with the ensemble. You are willing to take risks. You're willing to put your body out there and find that perfect balance. I've seen it.
I don't know what to say. Thank you.
You're welcome. I mean, we have been paying very close attention to you for the better part of about 6 months.
All right. Well, I guess Dad always said I had to sign the paperwork, right? So I don't want to think about it. So whatever that has to look like, can we just like get it out of the way?
Oh, sure. He goes into the middle console and she takes out like a tablet. It's right there.
This is real. This is a real thing that we're talking about.
Mm-hmm. Comes with an advance too.
Oh, it's a word I never thought I'd fucking hear in my life. I'll look it over. I mean, yeah, Dante is unsettled, out of his element, like out of depth. Can't phone a friend. He doesn't have a phone. He doesn't have a phone anyway. I do the mental math. How will be good, right? Like this changes everything.
Yeah, so a couple of things happen when you sign this contract, it looks like. I guess what I'd rather have you do too in this is, do you have any law?
No.
Okay. So it would be very difficult for you to sort of strip out any of the pertinent details other than the money signs.
What he's looking for is, how long do I have to do this? How much does it pay? How much do they get now? And like, what happens if I get hurt? Like, those are really the only things that Dante is concerned with.
So the full payment for the 8-week, if you make every single event,
Easy.
the full payment is about $52,000. The upfront that you get out of that 52 is $10,000. And that is to do two things. It is to secure the contract and also render null and void any other contracts you are under currently. So this is the show you play.
It's exclusive.
It's an exclusivity agreement, yeah.
Okay.
As far as medical care, the contract explicitly states that they cover all medical care and aftercare and any sort of medical programs that are needed for the talent in conjunction with things which might happen to or around and on stage. And then you agree subsequently to take care of yourself and ensure that you're not in any way, shape, or form putting yourself at risk.
Outside of the demands of the show.
Correct. Which can render the contract null and void should you do so.
Sure. So the last thing I do is I sign Miguel as my beneficiary, my sole beneficiary. Should I hit the pavement? And look, you guys have people that can talk to the CERT bosses and my floor manager, right?
Oh yeah. She sort of waves you off a little bit. Dante, all that will be taken care of. What we'll do is we'll go to every single location that you're currently working at. We'll wire them a legal document that advises them that you're under contract through us now. And the best part is, if they choose to request your services, you have to do it through us. And then we get to utilize all of our leverage methods to ensure that our talent is paid properly.
So you're like my agent.
I will be after you sign the contract.
Is that what that says?
It's right there. She leans over and just sort of points it out.
I wish I was better at this.
You don't need to be. You just need to be good at what you are.
What do you think, Sophie?
Sophie looks up at you and her nose sort of twitches back and forth. Sophie's hungry.
Me too, Sophie. All right, I sign it.
Wonderful. She takes the tablet from you. Now, I wouldn't normally encourage any of our talent to drink, but we do have champagne here, and it's sort of the thing that we do.
That's going to be a hard pass for me, but you know that about me if you've been researching me for the past year.
Certainly.
Appreciate the offer, though. Can I take it home?
Take what home?
The champagne.
Oh, of course. Absolutely. It's yours.
Smile real huge and stuff a bottle of champagne in my gym bag.
Did you stuff a bottle of Dom Perignon in your gym bag?
I'm so metal right now.
The Escalade stops probably a couple minutes after that. Not more than a couple minutes. You realize that you're in your neighborhood. Well, here we are. So what I need from you is just your bank routing information when you're prepared, and then we'll place the deposit as necessary.
I have your card, so I guess I can just call you, right?
Anytime. We'll be in touch, Dante.
Look, I really appreciate this. I want to do well. So, I'm excited to learn about the show and what we're expected to do.
We have an entire training regiment for you to go through, and you'll get a chance to analyze it and look at it and see perhaps ways it could improve. We're open to that input as well.
Great. Yeah, I'm excited to work with you. I'm excited.
She reaches out and shakes your hand. Congratulations.
I'm probably super clammy and shaky. All right. See ya. I'm gonna hop out the car.
You don't even remember getting out of the car. You barely remember walking up to the front door. Everything is fireworks inside your head.
I mean, it's about, at this point, if I just got out of the show and I'm coming home, that makes it about 10 p.m., right? Ish, something like that. I bust in that door like I'm the police.
You freak a whole bunch of people out. And I want to call our episode to a close there.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for joining us on this episode of the Ascension of Babylon. We greatly appreciate your listening ears. We would like to thank our avatar who stopped in for the show. Many of them will pop up along the season as we go. And it sounds like everything is on the up and up, right? Thank you and good night.